Welcome to Yeshiva Daf, Shirsponsor Nishmas Amyak Shalom Le'Abbas Yitzchok. We're holding in Basra Daf Yudalef. We're starting at Yudam with base, five lines from the bottom. Second one, Ifrahum is Ima de Shur Malko. As we saw before, Ifrahum is the mother of Shur Malko, the king of Persia. He sent 400 dinarim as tzedakah to Rami. He did not accept it. He wouldn't accept the money from her. So give it to Rav. He accepted it. Because of Shalom Malchus, should be peace. He didn't want to start with the king. Rabbi Rami was upset. Don't you know the pasuk? Which means Rashi says, when the Yovash lechuch is ma'aseh tzedakah as yishovu. You know when the goyim will break, when they will stop being in charge, when they don't have any schutz of tzedakah. So biyovash ktiro tishavayros, don't accept the tzedakah from them. So the Gemara, the Nosh should come and burn it. Because of Shlomo Malchus, that's you have to give it, you have to accept. You can't start with the king. We should give it to non-Jews. We should not be the tzedakah of Am Yisrael. That's what he did. He did give it to Ani Yisrael. Rami was upset. They didn't finish the story, didn't tell him what he did. Now, Rashi, right away, the first Rashi and the Amud Rashi brings, we learn just three blot ago. Tavches. The Gemara says he gave it to Mitzurabo and he accepted it. So he says, what's shot? So he says that the giving money to tzedakah is not give us das, because we know mifarsidim we give tzedakah to goyim and to Jews alike. But when you're talking about a Peter and Shmuel that we had before, then you cannot do gnevas das to the mother of the king. Saying what Tanya Amur level binyomin atzadik shem mimuna kupa shel tzedakah. Atzadik was mimuna kupa tzedakah. Once came a woman to him, years of famine. Amr lo everybody saying, please give me food. Amr lo there's nothing yet there. It's all finished. Amr lo if you don't give me money, me and my 7 children will all die. So then he went and he gave a bread also from his own money. Similarly, he was about to die, he was sick, about to die. You said that someone who gives life to one person as if he gave life to the whole world. And B'yom Hatzai will die at such an early age. Right away, took away the Gzar Din. So they had 22 years to his years. So this story needs a lot of explanation. Just to be mayor over here, because Hashem will focus it on the Shor Machshava. But some of the Aros here, first of all, what is the great deed to B'yom Hatzai did? Obviously, he has a woman and 7 kids about to die, so he gave money from his own. Why is that such a big thing? Kupa's tzedakah was finished, so he gave him his own money. The pshat is he gave money even though he didn't have, so what does it do with the fact that Kupa's tzedakah finished? You say that he sacrificed himself to give tzedakah. What's the message over here? And also, what does it mean that he was about to die at Gzar Din, and he had 22 years to his years? We already learned, it's a machlokes, a discussion. The Gemara speaks about, can you add years to someone's life, or you just bring him back to his original life? So you have to understand what B'yom Hatzai was losing if he didn't live his full life. And there's also a why Davka 22 years, which has to do with the brachas that we said before that people get when they do tzedakah. So all that, Beis Hashem will discuss. So Mun Bazamelech was a king, that he was a son of Hileni Amalko from Zerech Hashmonaim, says Rashi. And he was wasted the money of his parents. And the years of Batzoris, he gave out the money, fed the Jews. His brothers and his father, his household, father's household, your parents, they saved money. They collected treasures and saved it. You're wasting it. They put the money down here in this world. Not putting up there in the world one above. Shema emes me'eres titzmach v'tzedek mishamayim nishkav. Tzedakah is there in Shamayim. They put it down in the world where it can be stolen, taken, removed. How up there it's kept forever. It's in the Mochel of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, nobody can take it. You have money, money doesn't grow on its own. What I did gives more fruit. Person does chesed and tzedakah, he enjoys the fruits of what he did. They put money aside. I put aside the shamas. So someone who feeds the nefashos, saying the nefashos, that's what it is. They give it to others because they die, they don't have anything. I have the tzedakah when I go to Shemai. This for this world, that he can ask the Shaila is, what do you see over here that is that's Olam Habo? Pashas mean Kvoid Hashem. Kvoid Hashem is a time of Olam Habo, and you see from here that the Munbaz is giving several reasons why tzedakah is so chashuv, and then first you go down to explain why each one of them, what's each point of Munbaz. So we're ending the Mishnah, even though someone does not live in the city for 12 months, if he bought an apartment in the city, bought a house, so that is like on Shei right away. I see the look of Shigam Lil, Amish is like of Shigam Lil. The time of Shigam Lil, Oimer, in Kona bought Karkar Kosh, where he can't Shei. You don't have to buy a house, you just buy a land. Land is good enough. I time of Shigam Lil, Oimer, in Kona Shav Karkar, Rula Beis Dira, where he can't Shei. Well, it's not just land, it's be a land that you can build a house in it. So the more to read, I believe with the Shigam Lil. But according to Shigam Lil, which type of land do you need? Says the Mishnah. You need to be able to give 4 ames for each one. That's, as we saw earlier, we mentioned at the beginning of the Masakta, you need to be able to each one to have at least 4 ames. The Loisa saw that she have a Tisha Kavim field is a different measurement, 9 kav. Rido Imat she have a Tisha Chatzei Kavim a different measurement. Veloisa Gino she have a Chatzei Kav Gino needs to have a half a kav. Kiva Oimer Beisoiva, a quarter. Veloisa Traklin, Veloy is a Moiron, Traklin and Moiron, both different types of rooms or houses. So you don't divide it. Veloisa Shoivach, where you have the nest. Veloisa Talis, clothing. Veloisa Merchat, bathhouse. Veloisa Beisabat, where you press olives to make oil. Veloisa Shlachim, the field. They have to have each one enough, whatever is the chosh of enough amount. If you divide it, it still has the name of the owner, meaning it's a chosh of a thing to have his name on it. So then the din is the what? Cholkim. And that's all the measurements that we have again in the Mishnah defines to me what does it mean that Shmoy Olav. And we'll say all this is when it's not changed, that's only if they don't want to. One wants to force it. You can force it if you have the chaluk of nanat. If they agree, of course they can divide. Now what is the Chiddush? The Chiddush is the next part. You have Kisvei HaKodesh, Sefer Torah, and Nevi'im, Ksuvim, you don't divide it even though they both agree. So the Gemara. You need to have 4 ames, except 4 ames in front of the door. Because the door also has to have 4 ames. Tanya me'achi in cholkim v'sachotzer at sheyebo shmoino ames lazeh, shmoino ames, you have to have 8 ames. 4 ames for the chotzer, 4 ames for the door. Ve'ana tran arba ames lazeh, v'arba ames lazeh. We said 4, are you saying 8? Ashvami no kedab asi. You say Avasi, which means 4 ames for the chotzer, 4 ames for the door. Shvami no. You can derive the mirror, some bring as a question. Tanya in cholkim v'sachotzer at arba ames lazeh, v'arba ames lazeh, should be 4 ames for each. Ve'atan shmoino ames lazeh, shmoino ames lazeh, be 8 ames. You have to have the doors to have 4 ames as well. Now, really, the Gemara is going to explain how you divide it. When you have a chotzer, you want to split a house based on the amount of doors, that's how you split the chotzer. Rashi says over here. that Ayalu Chotzer Bosh Ti Batim with 2 houses. One house has 2 doors. The other house has only 1 door. He gave 1 house to one kid, another to the other. He didn't divide the chotzer. One takes 2 parts, one takes 1 part. By the way, we mentioned over here always the brothers. Someone asked why we didn't mention the brothers. But the point of Shadi is, if you know the brothers, you talk about someone who bought to a field, they explain themselves. What did you do? You talk about something which is not explained. You have a father who bequeathed 2 houses. What happened to the chutzah? We didn't discuss the chutzah. He says, no, every Pesach gets 4 amas. I said before, a Pesach gets 4 amas. The rest you divide equally. You don't just divide the chutzah to the doors. Every door has 4 amas. One has 1 door, one has 2 doors. One has 1 door, takes 4 amas. One has 2 doors, that takes 8 amas. 4 for each door. The rest you divide equally. What happens if you have 8 amas width? So till now we spoke about 4 amas. 4 amas is the length. In front of the door you have to have 4 amas. Why do you have to have 4 amas? Because that's what you need in order to be Poyrik Masar. In order to unload, if it comes a truck, you have to unload it. You have to have a space to unload it. As Rashi says, the first Rashi after the Mishnah, Rashi says, but that's the length. What's about the width? So you say, the width is the size of the door. The length is the 4 amas. What is the 4 amas? So what does it mean? In other words, what does it mean? The losh of the brace is unclear. Right? We're saying that you take 8 amas in the door and 4 amas in the chutzah. What does it mean? The roichav is 4 amas, as we said, and the length is 8 amas, the size of the door. So Omar Amimar, Piro the Sufli. Piro Sufli is a pit in the chutzah with no sun irving, and you have in it pits of dates and from Achal Beim. So you have 4 amas for every quarter. So the thing is, Yesh lo 4 amas who has 4 amas to each place to get to the pit. That's only if you don't have a specific door. This is the way to get in. So then you give for each side. So they want to be down from the base. If you have a Pesach, so it's 4 amas in front of the Pesach, and that's it. They have a specific designated place to get to the Chafiro. You have a door to get to it. So basically, it's like Chafiro. So you go from the door to the Chafiro. You don't have to have all around. It's not in the middle of the Chutzah. So what is Achster? Rashi says that Rashi brings what is Achster? It doesn't have any walls. That's what this quotes Rashi, and really Rashi says over here back. So kivein din latfanis. Rashi says there's no walls over here. Toys is proving that they go, come on, it has 3 walls and 1 wall is open. That's what Toys says. So they don't have 4 amas. Why? Why do they don't have 4 amas in front? So before, in order to unload. Here you have no walls. Just go inside the house and unload over there. It's like opening a garage door and go in. Clearly, it says the Achsadra does have 4 amas. So the Achsadra Beirav is different because it does have walls, because it has a lot of windows. Rashi says. Has to be Rab Shito. It's joined in it's a regular room. What's the Chiddush? What's Chiddush? Rashi says you have walls, but they don't reach the ceiling. So you can't get in there, but you could get in there, but not easily. And that's why that's the Chiddush. Tosis learns that it's 3 mechitzes. Achzor Beirav has 3 mechitzes gemuris, and the 4 has 4 amas. And Achzor Beirav, the 4th one is only 10 tefachim. Says the Gemara, Torah Beis Shar, where the place where the guard sits, Achster, we said, which is before, Umer Peset, which is a porch, יש שם 4 amas, they have 4 amas in front of it. You have 5 בתים פתוחים למרפסת. You have one long porch, and into the porch you have 5 apartments, 5 rooms. You have 4 amas to go in from the chutzner, because that's where you have to go to that. It's the last location before you go in. It's like you have entrance to the building. You have a chicken pen, right? You have the place where the chicken is. Do you have 4 amas for that? The only reason you need 4 amas is in order to unload. Here, the chicken, the roosters can climb up and down. You don't need to have an area where you unload them. Says the Gemara, you have a house. Half of it has a roof, half of it does not have a roof. Does it have 4 amas for that? Doesn't have 4 amas. If the wall is towards the inside, not towards the door, you can go inside very easily and unload because the first half has no roof. Even if the roof is the external part of the house, towards the door, you still can go in. This is what we saw earlier, that when you take you unload, you need space. And when you have a roof, it gets stuck in the roof. If I don't have no roof, I have to do it. You just bring yourself till the inside, and then unload inside where there's no roof. There's no ceiling. You have one of the Amavoy that he wants to move the entrance of the Mavoy, his entrance, the Mavoy. So his chutz, what's a Mavoy, is like a cul-de-sac. You have many courtyards open to it. His courtyard, his property, is between 2 Mavoys. Right now it's open to the right Mavoy. He wants to open to the left Mavoy. Can the Mavoy stop him or not? Here's a big machlokes for showing which Bnei Mavoy we're talking about. Rashi is talking about the new Bnei Mavoy. He's open to the right. He wants to open to the left. The guy said, "I'm not saying I don't want you to open the door over here. You're adding more people to us." Or we're talking about the guys in the right. We don't want people coming from the left one going into the right. So we don't want to have another door. The kids stop. When you're talking about that chayil shemelech, as Rashi says, you have to give to the kings of the soldiers of the king, you have to give them a place to be in the house. Is it based on doors? You divide between the doors, or between the people? A bigger household has to host more people. You go based on the people. When you have the fertilizing material in the chutzner, each door gets equal. Because how did it happen? You throw it from the doors, so you say it's equal. Because based on Bnei Adam. One of the Mavoy wants to close his opening. So Rashi explains that he wants to do around his Arba Amis, he wants to close around it. So he has space around the Mavoy, 4 Amis. He wants to make a wall around it. So now people have to go make a bigger walk to go around his wall. Tais disagrees. Tais says, where do we find you have 4 Amis for a Mavoy? We have 4 Amis in the Chutzner, not 4 Amis in the Mavoy. So that's what Tais says. We're talking about that he's in the end of the Mavoy. And he wants to close up. He wants to make a seal. He's in the end of the Mavoy. And you have enough for people to walk in. And he wants to make a wall. Doesn't want anybody to come into his area. So he says, you're causing people not to have room to go. So according to Rashi, he has to go around his wall. According to Toys, there's no place to go in when there's a lot of people in the Mavoy. You have 5 chutzner open to the Mavoy. And it's one behind each other. They all use the outside one, because through the outside one they go out. The Chitzon doesn't have to go inside. They can't use the inner chutzers. Everybody uses the second chutzer. They have to go through it. The second chutzer uses its own chutzer, uses the one in front of it. It says the inner one is the only one using the inner one is the inner people. Nobody else. So what do you see over here? You see over here that the last one, or the only one who can use is the last one. So good to why? If you're not using it, why the outside ones can ask the room and the inside one? Good to it's very clear. Talk about it's the same idea. If you tell me I can't use the inner ones, I can't use the ones which are more interior because I'm exterior, so why here is different? According to Rashi, Pshat is not everybody can complain about the hekif. Only the ones who are using it. It's more today. Tanya, so that's the first case. You want to move the door, they can stop you. It was closed, you want to open it. It was closed. And he wants to open up. So nobody can stop it. Right? Rashi explains he was already a door before. He closed, he opened it back. He can't stop it. You have 5 chatzos, one behind each other. They all use the mavoi. So the din is zoim. And Rashi says, so you have, in other words, when you have the mavoi, it's a cul-de-sac. You have one chutzah, one behind each other. Before we learned that the last one uses only himself and nobody uses this. Here he says, they all use all these areas. So who spoke about chatzeros? 5 chatzeros. So you're missing a part of the brisa. You have 5 chatzeros, one behind each other. You can use only the outer one. Like we said before, that's Tanakama. Divrei Rebbe. Comes a shul that says no, they all can use with each other. So we see here that this is the machlekes. Machlekes says when I have people that are more exterior, people that are more interior, can the exterior ones use the interior ones? As Atoyis points out when he mentioned his chat, when I have a lot of people, I have a lot of guests, I have a party, I want to be able to go inside. There's more room. I want to be able to spread inside. Are you allowed to do that or not? That's the machlekes. Do you say if you're exterior, your only thing you can use is your part? You can't go in here. Or we say no. The entire mavoi is for the rishus for everybody to use. And that is over here the machlekes tanoim. The last piece of the Gemara, just to end this daf, to get what we just learned. Omar, it was closed. He wants to reopen it. Ain't be more I can't stop it because he had to do it before. Which means when he closed the door, he didn't take out the doorpost. The doorpost is still there. That shows the intention of planning to reopen it. As Rashi says. But if he took it away, he says that's it, it's closed. I'm going to buy the robe at Tarim Selach, bring your raya to you. If you have a closed house, so he still has 4 amas. So once you take away the doorpost, you don't have 4 amas in front of it. See that as long as you have the doorpost, even though it's sealed, you still have, it's considered to be, you have a door. We have a girsel, it's just mentioned, you have a kever that has an opening, so the only area that becomes tumah is the area of the door. Even though the door is sealed, it's still metame only there. If you took away the doorpost, the software metame kol now makes tumah everywhere because there's no designated door. By sasum and metame kol of a house, which is sasum, doesn't cause tumah all over the place because the door is considered to be that's where it's going to come out. If you took out the doorpost, metame kol now the tumah it does spread all over. Meaning what's shat? Shat is that once you take out the doorpost, there's no door anymore. As long as you have a doorpost, even though it's sealed, you still have over here a door.